that we are at a tie match at the top. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They do have to be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Deadhard could get them the distance to get it too. Shot.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are gonna teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab! Yes! That is disappointing. This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
We do indeed, and we are going to be starting off with a Huntress mirror match on the Dead Dog Saloon. It's not a mirror match we see often on Saloon. Like Huntress, objectively a Wrecker's Yard killer, but maybe it's just the basement centralized in Dead Dog that we might just be seeing a little bit as well. Also, is it just me, or is like Dead Dog at the start of every match looks so good and at some point just transitions to that? Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. But with that being said, we are seeing the Huntress do a little bit of home remodeling here. Not all too worried about the active generators. Instead, just really shoring up that these loops are very weak. Yeah, absolutely. But Huntress trying to box out the Dwight here, not able to do so. Dwight holding W here, trying to double back. Huntress will just barely miss there as they do hit the cactus. A lot of geometry here and there that the survivors are able to use to their advantage. But Huntress will try and go for the hit and will get it on the Dwight. You know. Yeah, no, it really is. And sure enough, survivors heard you loud and clear and took their chance. We will note, though, that that gen there is highlighted in yellow. So it could be Colubrine and or Eruption. But that is true. That is true. Oh, they can't hear Rue. Uh-oh. Now they can hear Rue. They missed all of Rue's witty comments. It does not appear that I did. Apologies about that. Don't worry though. Don't worry. You'll be able to hear Rue soon. And Rue, talk to me for a second here, bud.
Hi, I'm talking to you for a second. There's deadlock right there.
That is indeed a deadlock, and we once again have the #1 trickster main here with us in COTF. You know, need to make it up to him somehow, butter him up a little bit, right?
Oh, thanks. I mean, you can butter me up in other ways too, but okay. Anyway, off the air. This is exactly what survivors should do against a Huntress. Just go to this side of the map and bury yourself in these building tiles where the Huntress literally can't get a shot on you. Look at this. How are you supposed to hit a shot through here?
Yeah, I mean, it's really jam-packed with line of sight blockers, making it very difficult for a Huntress and or any range killer to do much of anything. Really have to rely on those M1s, and so it really does make sense that the Huntress did do a lot of home remodeling earlier, breaking those breakable walls. However, Kate, not exactly looking in front of her, will end up getting down by the M1.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I that is a common issue that I run into with Huntresses or Tricksters, is that yes, they have that terror radius, but that lullaby gives you this weird sense of security because it messes with your auditory. Good shot there.
Yeah, really good shot. Really showcasing reason why Huntress is as dangerous as she is. And it's because of that lagging hitbox. And once again, those lobs, the Huntress here is doing those snapshot lobs right there, hitting them almost every single time. Those charge hits really messing them up. I'm wondering if it's just the timing for the distance that they are having trouble with.
Hey, you know, Machine Gun Huntress is where it's at. Super solid add-ons, the Babushka and the Octaf, just letting you, you know, like I said, the lob shots. It's the thin slicing, the reaction, the gut reaction, the muscle memory. Yeah, charging up those long shots, you start to second guess yourself every single time. Every single time. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that being said, Survivor's doing a pretty good job here. 2 gens down. We did see the Claudette here earlier. Huntress really wanting to proxy this hook, though. Not wanting to give it up freely. We do see 2 Survivors here, and they do not care.
No, they don't. They are brazen and bold in this back alley. They do need to be careful. This Huntress has proven to be somewhat effective back here, despite it being really hard to loop for the Huntress, but... I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't camp that basement. That's what surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, especially the basement here being so centralized between both Gallows and the other gens, it would have made a lot of sense for the Huntress to really camp this and force either a progression or just a one-for-one trade, as Huntress can very easily, with these add-ons, go for a BT hit into a down before they can even reach window or pallet.
True, exactly. Yeah. Like that first hook on Dwight in the middle of the map, I'm surprised they didn't like. I guess what I would say is they seem to be playing this very fairly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, I would tend to agree, and you know, they're definitely playing very fair. They're not going for the tunnel out right away. You know, for better or for worse, we'll see if it works out for them in the long run, as they do get another nice hit here on the Kate. However, we'll want to note that is overcome.
Yeah, but I say they got some really good distance going to the main building. I'm surprised we didn't see the Huntress chuck that last hatchet right in the window and get a cheeky snipe on him, but maybe they think Kate would know better. They found a hornet's nest of survivors over here, though.
I was about to say, they kind of pulled a little bit of a magic trick there, turning a Bill into a Dwight.
Just a little bit. Good job running edge map again. I don't know what it is about killers and edge map, but like whether if it's a nurse, Huntress, for some reason having less choices for movement makes it that much harder to hit, and I don't get it.
I think it's just that you always want to think of, okay, well, the Survivor's going to go here, and with those edge maps really just gives the Survivors that ability to go kind of anywhere. And I think that where the power of the Huntress comes in, or any range-based killer, is really being able to box the Survivors into where you want them. And I think that's what we're seeing the Huntress here not really do all too effectively, as they're not really boxing the Survivors in. They're going for those hatchet hits, and not just for, like I'd like to say, walk at the Survivors menacingly.
Yeah, absolutely. And because I thought I heard somebody working on this generator. Yeah, and also worth noting, they don't have a 3-gen to fall back onto. That's one of the biggest things on this map, is working in that 3-gen, and there is no 3-gen to speak of.
Yeah, no 3-gen. It is a very heavy 2-2 split here, we see. And so Survivors have all the time in the world here, as we do see Call of Brian activating there, showing the skill check noise notifications in the distance. Looks like they might be trying to get a snipe here on the Bill, and will just barely miss it.
That stupid pillar. I'm surprised they didn't. Oh, wow. Claudette coming in and just finishing the gen off. I thought they would have gone for the Dwight, maybe get rid of them and, you know, force a 3v1, maybe try and secure a 2K here, but leaving the Dwight and going after these fresh Survivors, I guess they're really trying to prioritize these fresh hook states, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to pay off or not.
Yeah, only time will tell. Right now, we do see a fresh hook on each individual Survivor. I believe that Claudette is the only one not yet. And with one gen remaining, this might be the right call, as it could yield the killer an additional 6 points.
Possibly, yeah. If this is a fully fresh stage and it is killed, yeah. Oh, they got a little surprised, despite the fact that this squad has adrenaline. They have that anti-adrenaline tech, if you know what I mean.
That there is a bit of no-ed, as we do see the haste status effect, and these survivors are now keenly aware of its existence. Do keep in mind, we have yet to see a deliverance, I don't think, here in this match. So this possible that the claw deck here could have it in hand, and we saw a very spicy hatch play with deliverance into hatch escape earlier today. So it is not outside the realm of possibility.
I mean, that's why you take the, you know, what is it? It's, well, dude, they don't normally take adrenaline on the deliverance player, do they? It's usually sprint burst on the deliverance player.
Normally, but you know, we've seen stranger things, and I ain't talking about the Demogorgon.
Yeah, that's fair. And yeah, there is no deliverance play on that survivor, so they will get a 7-stage 1K. I believe that is a top. No, it's not.
It is.
Yeah, it's a barely survivor favored because they got the extra out.
Actually, I think it is going to be killer favored by 2 points there, as they
did
did
get the fresh hooks.
Yeah, the fresh hook plus the additional 2 points on the Dwight earlier on in the match. So just a little bit in favor of Academy of Chronicles here, as we are going to be switching sides over to Atmosfer's Huntress, as we did get a bit of a Huntress mirror match on the Dead Dog Saloon.
The adrenaline, or I'm sorry, the deliverance was on the Dwight, and they were first hook, so Killer denying that deliverance value, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I think the Killer played really well. Again, I think that, and this is not a dig at the Killer, they just played very fairly. They could have played, like, quote unquote, way sweatier and forced some second stages in some really unsafe areas, I think, but they had good shots. They played mechanically well, I think.
I would definitely tend to agree. But with that being said, before we dig too much deeper into this match, we are going to go for a little bit of a break. But before we do, we remind everyone here today that you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors. So the ads they watch, all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course, all the Rogue Energy by using the code COTF goes to supporting the prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Bye, Rogue folks. Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of a Huntress mirror on the Dead Dog Saloon. Which Huntress will prevail? This Huntress has to beat a 7-stage 1K, and I don't think that's impossible. It really depends. I think the Huntress did a really good job previously by making sure that they broke down all those walls so quickly. I think that definitely did lend a hand in helping them out, especially because they knew what their 3-gen was in regards to the Corrupt, and they knew they weren't going to be able to just jam gens immediately. So, good start. We'll see how this Huntress handles it. Oh, yeah. That's a split Corrupt. Look at how horrible that Corrupt is.
Yeah, it is really, really rough there.
They do have a 3-gen, though.
They do have a bit of 3-gen, and it's actually probably one of the better 3-gens that Huntress could have, as they can really lord over their territory off of Gallows and just kind of look down on the other 2 gens. Speaking of, we do see the Nancy drop down there in the distance, though. Huntress will not commit to that chase, instead trying to throw a survivor off of this gen up here, and Nia will be able to get into main in time without taking a hit.
It is smart, as I don't know how many Huntress mains you watch. One of the things that we saw in Light in the Fog was Hex T was rocking the Huntress, and they were constantly threading through this these railings. And yeah, do not take that chance, because if you get hit, Huntress will definitely follow up really quickly. So yeah, smart job, play safe, don't give the Huntress a chance.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Claudette, though, in chase now back here in this area, though. Looks like maybe a little bit of a mind game, as Huntress will miss the M1 there. Getting a little bit too aggressive, as the Claudette will end up being able to revolt. But Huntress with a very good hit there.
Yeah, that was really good flick. That is one thing that I will say about Huntress, is that you can tell they've played a lot. It's kind of, you know, like Coconut, for instance, does this. They have this kind of like shaky flick that they do to try and get it. And I don't know where that comes from, but man, it works.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, the Huntress just trying to guide the hatchet midair. You know, one thing people don't realize that the Huntress mains of the world, they've developed a bit of telekinesis. There
you go, yeah. I will say, in baseball, as a pitcher, we call that follow through with your shot. So, you know, I kind of get it. Just Huntress trying to make sure that their shot hits. And look at this Claudette, though, doing the Lord's work with these loops, just really blocking that line of sight.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier, and we're seeing it here again. Those line of sight blockers that these survivors have available to them are really, really strong here on this side. The survivors really are using them to a absolute T. Huntress going for a shot there, thinking that they would see the Nia go back towards the door, and the Nia just holding still, going, no, I see what you're doing. Not happening.
Yeah, that might catch them off at some point, as that is a bit brazen in my opinion. I wouldn't personally take that much of a risk. Ooh.
I don't know about you, but I've always hated those corner stuns, because I always feel like I'm far enough away from getting hit, and then every time I just get hit time again. I'm like, I could have sworn I had distance. But speaking of distance, Adam getting a little bit of distance here with a bit of bounce landing off the Gallows, and Deadlock coming in, blocking that gen for a total of 30 seconds. However, that gen sounded like it had a lot of progression, so Adam will be able to get away scot-free, and I fear that 3-gen will be broken momentarily.
It's very possible. These survivors are playing very carefully and not giving this Huntress an inch of room. Doing really, really good on AoC's part.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned here, given the fact that the Huntress really just needed a 2K2 hook, or rather a 2K8 hook, in order to secure victory. But these survivors really pulling out all the stops. Though, I will note here, for as good as they've been doing, only 1 gen completed so far. Okay, correction, 2 gens.
2 gens, there you go. Nia is at a bit of a spot. They have to reload. They don't have any hatchets left. And they didn't break this already. Oh, they did have the time, though. I'm surprised they were able to catch up with that Nia.
Yeah, I think Nia just did not have the greatest path in the world. We saw them caught on a little bit of an object earlier in that chase, as well as there. Actually hitting a mid-vault, not a fast vault there on that window. And that mid-vault really costing them in the end.
For sure, and this is kind of what I'm talking about in the previous matches. This is an insanely good central hook. You've got your 3-gen here. You can start getting that gen to regress. I don't believe they brought Olive Brine, so yeah, I do think that they can just hold this down. I think.
Yeah, I think this here is the move, and no, in fact, that there is actually a eruption. I would have loved to see Huntress lob that one, see if they get the Adam over that railing there, but Huntress just holding strong. I will note, survivors could get from underneath the Huntress here, as they are watching the Atom, and I think Huntress kind of realized that will drop down themselves and make sure that no survivors are trying to sneak in for an unhook.
True, but they can't waste too many hatchets here, as yeah, there's the unhook coming in. It will be a hook trade, but I imagine that might just be the Deliverance player.
It would make a lick of sense, you know. A, it's Adam. B, that was very aggressive on the unhook, especially as Claudette was there to help out. But with that being said, looks like Huntress will reload and go for the hook on Adam.
Quite so, and yeah, the survivors might have been able to possibly reset a lot of the pressure here if this is in fact a Deliverance. Yeah, Huntress saying, you know what, I think that is gonna be Deliverance, and this is gonna be a much more aggressive hook here. A little bit harder to defend directly just because you don't have as much angle on it, but the survivors have to go so much further out of their way to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. However, we do see a little bit of progress there in that corner gen as well, suggesting the survivor might be there hanging out, laying in 08. And this Gallus gen just keeps on regressing bit by bit.
Yep, that gen is going down even without the call of Brian. Just no survivor able to come in and, you know, even just tap it for a second. However, I do imagine they are going to finish a significant amount of gens. I just don't know how they're going to break this 3-gen. There's not even a normal, there's normally like 2 pallets kind of in that corner. I don't even see 2 pallets over there.
No, they have that iTal, though we do see that survivor. Like I said, something smelled fishy, and sure enough, I think we're going to see the Deliverance here in just a second, forcing the Huntress to make a choice here, and not one that they are going to like.
True, but you're just gonna see it. Yeah, but you say you wait the 59 seconds, add in Deliverances, and now you've got to go chase this guy off. She's got all the time in the world. This is an insanely good play by the Survivor Squad. Again, just really showing how ready they were for this Huntress matchup.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this is not the right chase here. They really just need to protect that 3-gen to the best of their ability. Let's see if you see the thread shot. Huntress thinking they were going to go for the vault there, and maybe a little bit surprised that Adam didn't.
Possibly, but now they're safe. You need to leave this. Yeah, they finished that gen. You needed to. That's unfortunate. This Huntress is they need some kind of like snowball miracle here. I feel like, because this is gonna be insane. Yeah, there you go. You get that hit, but what if they have decisive? You could have decisive here. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't see decisive as much anymore on Deliverance, more like not maybe on Unbreakable and or for the people, which we have been seeing more and more often. However, that there will be the second hook for Adam, but it might not be enough, as the Huntress is going to need a 2K 8 hook here in order to secure victory, and that will be the final gen completed.
Yeah, my thought process is that it would be just a meta pick specifically for Huntress, because you know that's what they want to do. You know they want to camp that hook out. And you know that you needed to get the Deliverance person to come in and take the fall, but yeah, unfortunately, no way out proccing for this Huntress. It's the last resort they have, and they need some hook states right now.
Yeah, it's 36 seconds on the clock. That there will be a quick down on the Nia. Huntress will be able to get the hook here. The question is, they do not have all too much more time. Less than 12 seconds left before No Way Out expires, and then another 20 for the exit gate to open. Huntress going for a very aggressive hook here, but I don't know if it'll be enough.
Okay, so the only one they have not hooked is Claudette, correct?
That does appear,
because Nancy was the first one that hook traded with Adam, which means if you go for the Claudette right now and get them down, hook them, you can tie this.
Well, actually, it looks like Claudette and Nancy have not been hooked. It has just been the tap and
neither
the Nia
of them?
yeah, it's only been the tap and the Nia at 4.
Okay.
And looks like that there will be the 3-man out, and that there will be victory for Academy and Chronicles for set number 1. With that being said, though, we're going to move over to FCC in set number 2, Rue's favorite map, where we're going to be seeing Atmosfer's playing against Academy of Chronicles Survivor Team.
I have nothing to say to you anymore. I'm done. I came here thinking I was going to have a good old time, but you mute me, and now you tease me with FCC. I hate it here. I don't know what I'm doing here anymore, but AoC it did an absolutely fantastic job in this first set. I'm very curious to see how this next one goes.
Absolutely. With that being said, we are going to take a quick break as we do set up this lobby. But before we do want to remind everyone here today that we are partnered with Pugdom. Pugdom is a Dead by Daylight competitive community very much like ours. They are actually streaming the second half of Group B over on their channel. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to stop on by, say hi, drop a follow so you can catch every single second that Champions of the Fog has to offer. With that being said, we're going to be back in just a bit.
What he said. yes, Giltspire. I would love some more rogue energy. Oh, we're live. Welcome back. You should use COTF for some rogue energy because it's really, really good, and I love it, and it keeps me going because, my goodness, you guys as the players take it out of me with these matches. They're too high octane, and I can't deal with it anymore, Gilt. I need more rogue.
I mean, if you need your energy boost, Rogue Energy is definitely a place to go. But they also have decaffeinated options. They also have decaffeinated options, which is what I appreciate. But with that being said, enough of the plug. We are just about to jump on in. And as a reminder, we are going to be seeing Atmosfer's Plague versus Academy of Chronicles Survivor Team on the Father Campbell's Chapel.
I don't know. Again, I've talked about it before. The reason I don't like FCC specifically is because of the way that the main collision, like honestly, Plague at main building is absolutely fine. I think it's just the outlying structures, not even the wall tiles, just the, it looks like this where it's burned down. The houses where it's burned down with those pallets. That's where the collision is so atrocious. And I'm really curious if her blobs will be able to like get hits through. And maybe you just don't take chase there. I'm not really sure, but. Regardless, I think Plague's a really good pick on this map. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. There's at least one pool, right?
Yeah, we do see double apple.
Oh, there's at least 3 pools.
Yeah.
Double apple. Let's go.
The Plague woke up today and chose violence, to say the least. Let's see if they are able to make good use of their corrupted pools. But they appear to be going around first to these gens and vomiting on them, getting them a little bit contagious.
Plague sticking to their roots, running the base kit corrupt intervention. You'll love to see it. Honestly, Plague had some great perks. This was a great DLC. I love Plague.
Speaking of, can we just talk real quick as we see Plague setting up for this match? PTB on Tuesday. The PTB is on Tuesday, and
you're
we have, like,
kidding? Is that soon?
Yeah, it's Blurry Tuesday, and we have 0 information on the killer. Like, we have basic information, but we don't have any information on, like, their perks, their power. DBD somehow has kept this one under wraps this entire time. So
they kept it pretty under wraps. I think DBD Leaks had some general information about perks, but again, like, despite the fact that they are really well known for getting, like, accurate leaks, nothing's confirmed. Absolutely. Like, Behavior has kept the cap on this one. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This poor Nancy's in trouble.
Yeah, with that being said, though, the survivors could only keep a cap on their whereabouts for so long, as the Plague will take their corrupted purge, and they are going to go for a down on the Nancy, as 45 seconds have already expired. Actually, a full minute and 30 seconds have already expired here on the corrupted intervention. Not much time going. It is indeed a bit of bamboozle. You keen-eared survivors and viewers alike will have heard that, as the Plague did vault the LD wall.
Honestly, okay, so Bamboozle is something I wouldn't think to run on Plague, but it actually makes a ton of sense. This perk works at just making it impossible for a survivor. Oh, I thought that hit. That was a really good dodge on the Nancy's part.
Yeah, just a little bit short of that. Nancy with the mind game, getting a bit of distance here. Plague almost running out of their corrupt purge. At the very least, Nancy holding down to 1 chase and somehow still not connecting.
I will say their corrupt intervention has been up. Corrupt intervention for the first time in a while actually lasted the entire 2 minutes instead of going down before a survive. So I would say corrupt intervention value, yes.
Yeah, corrupt intervention definitely got a lot of value there. I will note that survivors really were on gens for the first minute and 30 seconds of the match too. So, Plague definitely not in a bad spot here, but we hear multiple survivors on that gen in main, and that there will be a deadlock in the distance as well.
You do love to see it. Deadlock is just such a good perk for passive slowdown and pressure, but as we've seen, especially from Group A has been very good about mitigating the what would you say, the value from Deadlock by 99ing that generator in the middle of goodness knows where, and just letting that be the one that gets popped all day long, and then waiting that last 30 seconds, popping it, and forwarding the killer. But yeah, I love Deadlock. Deadlock is one of my favorite perks in the game right now.
I mean, realistically speaking, I really do like it being back in the season, as we do see that counterplay. I really do think that has some really unique counterplay that it only comparable to, I'd say, like Pig, when you're trying not to set off the bear traps, and kind of 99 for your survivor team. The only comparison that I can ever make to why you'd ever 99 a gen. And since we did ban the combo of Deadlock and Scourge Pain Resonance, it really is an all or nothing strategy on Deadlock usage. And so sometimes you get value and sometimes you get none at all, which we're kind of seeing what's happening here to the Plague.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's so difficult because, like, I don't know. A deadlock feels like it's the most passive reward, but I understand why people use pain res because pain res is just such a good. I used to be a huge pain res advocate when it came out, and I still think, as far as design goes, I still think it's one of my favorite perks by design. But unfortunately, again, I play Trickster. Pain res just doesn't really cut it for me. Deadlock is definitely the way I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that. For me, it's always going to be one of the best gen regression perks at a flat 15% here. Speaking of gen regression, we have not seen a lot here from the Plague. Instead, a bit of slowdown as well as Bamboozle, and Nancy just getting some more distance here. Plague just not able to get that hit, though. Will get the hit here. However, question of the day, is there a decisive strike in hand?
Very possibly, and yeah, there is. And there might even be a stun here to get the power. No, they're not going to drop it. They're just going to try and get distance and not. Decisive strike, unfortunately, no longer getting you that distance like you could before. And this Nancy is very dead.
Yep, Nancy will be going up on the hook for the final time, being sent to the campfire via the entity. Do you want to note there, honestly, the right move may have actually been to wait for the stun on DS, stun them out of their power, and then get some distance thereafter. So I think you had the right thought there. However, 2 gens remaining. This one very close to completion. I imagine that deadlock gen out in Carnival also very well progressed. However, all 3 survivors currently broken and injured with Plague's Corrupt Purge here. This is a dangerous situation to be in.
I agree. And that was the thing that I was gasping at earlier was as soon as they got that unhook on the Nancy, almost immediately every survivor went green and then soon after went red. So you knew at that moment they all jumped on generators. Were like, all right, Nancy, do your thing. We're going to jam some gens. And however, they are.
Yeah, yep. they are indeed. And the last one left. They actually have 2 gens here. We have this gen over here for a decent amount of progression that we're going to see a hook nearby. However, there's that one in Carnival that has been deadlocked for the last 4 generators.
Yup. And as we were talking about earlier, that deadlock counterplay survivors correctly identifying, hey, what gen is out in the middle of goodness knows where? Can we 99? Absolutely. And there we see those pre-cleanses ready to go. Again, really good cleanse on the survivor's part, making sure it's the opposite side of the map. However, there is a survivor caught out. It is an injured survivor nonetheless, ready to pop that generator. Survivors have to do a little bit of rotation here. The Plague actually in a decent position all of a sudden.
Yeah, this could very well end up in the favor of the Plague if they're not prepared. However, Plague with a bit of an aggressive swing. They're unable to make it connect. The Bamboozle forcing the Claude into the main building. I think they get this down.
I think they do, and what's going to happen is they're going to finish that gen that's not deadlocked back up where the hook happened, but this is going to be a fresh hook for this killer, and depending on how this end game goes, the killer might be setting up in a very good spot here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see that we have 1 survivor injured, the Atom cleansed, and we do see the Plague set it up for their Corrupt Purge here. And that, friends, is a no way out. Another 36 seconds on the clock, much like what we saw before.
Yeah, but I say getting that 3rd hook on that Nia is absolutely I'm sorry, the Claudette is absolutely huge, giving them that 3rd stack. And again, I really like No Way Out on this killer. This killer is hyper lethal in the end game because everybody goes and cleanses and it's like, oh, it's No Way Out. Yeah, we got to stick with around this killer. And sticking around when the Plague has their power is bad news. This killer is just insanely powerful in my opinion.
Yeah, but looks like No Way Out about to expire. 48 seconds pass it, and we do see the Nia cleanse there out in Carnival. A really good choice there by the survivors to ensure that they're doing so away from where the Plague wants to be.
Absolutely, and yeah, Plague, I think trying to secure that 2nd stage before going off and maybe finding another survivor to try and down. I think they have, what, 1 survivor they have not hooked yet?
Yep, if we take a look at the scorecard as we speak, it looks like Adam is the only survivor yet to be hooked. However, finding the Nia instead. Nia has been hooked once before, so this here will be a potential 2 points for the Plague if they're able to get the down and the hook. However, I was trying to see there if the execute was being worked on. We saw a few red lights, but it looks like that was the progress from the Nia prior. Trying to get the pallets done there, but Plague being kind of keen on that thought will be able to get the hit here.
Yeah, they will be able to chase around that corner and get the hit. Nia in a little bit of trouble here. She's out in no man's land. She will probably be going down here. Yeah, there's the down, and that is an extra Yeah, I imagine you will take this hook and camp it to death and get an 8-stage 2K here. Obviously, it's not ideal that you didn't hook the Atom, and leaving a fresh out is a lot of points missed out on. But this is still a really decent score for the Plague player here.
Yeah, I would say so. Really speaking, the match went really well for them. I think the biggest thing that we saw there was extended chases due to not being able to land those corrupt purges here and there, and they were by a hair in some situations. But with that being said, that there will be the end of Trial 3 Set 2, and it is 17-14 in Atmosfer's favor.
Yeah, that first chase that Nancy did was really, really good and gave their team a lot of wiggle room. That second chase, obviously not as ideal. Again, Decisive just not quite cutting it anymore. But again, both sides played really, really well here. And again, I would gladly take Plague on this map every other day. It's a really good pick. Is it a Plague Mirror? What are they playing next?
We are going to be seeing the judge, the jury, the executioner himself, the Pyramid Head over here on FCC. I will say it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. But before we dive too far into that, we are going to go on a quick break. As always, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you do hit that follow button. And as always, we appreciate your support as all the ads they watch, all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy buy using the code COTF goes supporting the prize pools for both Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to what could be the final trial of this round. Everything is going to come down to the executioner. Can they perform? And I'll be honest, I would pick Plague in this situation over the executioner just on account of how hyper lethal her ability is as compared to theirs in this particular situation. But I don't know. This is why we play the game, right?
Yeah, I would tend to agree, not necessarily for that reason, but actually
really?
because of the map choice. FCC has a lot of elevation, and for that reason alone, Punishment of the Damned is going to not be as good as Plague's Corrupt Purge, which you can arc across the entire map if you so choose.
That is very, very true, but we will have to see how it comes down to, and oh, I like this build a lot. This is going to be fun to see how this unfolds. That said, though, we do have the double range add-ons for them. Deciding not to take the extra 2 seconds. They're gonna break both of these windows. Okay. I'm sorry, they're both these doors.
You know, Executioner makes some home remodeling choices. We saw that with the Huntresses over on the Dead Dog Saloon as well. As a reminder, as far as win condition is confirmed, this Executioner will need to get a 3K in order to claim victory.
Is it confirmed 3K? Because I remember there was a fresh hook last time. So what if they just get some fresh stages and get a...
They can also get some fresh stages as well, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to say
is that Lightboard?
3K. That was not, but yeah, I was expecting that to get a blind, but a very good blind hit there off the Punishment of the Damned on the bill.
That was a beautiful shot. I'm curious if this killer has any practice time in this killer. Also, this survivor, yeah, Bill will be, oh no, they're gonna get tormented and be ready to hook. Oh no, that's a really strong start for this executioner.
Yeah, really, really good play there. Waiting it out, ensuring the Bill did get tormented at the pallet as well, and that there will be the first hook here for the Executioner. No real sign of the other survivors, however, and Executioner trying to slow things down on the unhook using that Trail of Torment. However, we do hear Gen being worked on here at main, though these survivors are getting out of dodge as soon as they can.
Absolutely, and yep, 90-90, that sprint burst. Yeah, they walked for a little bit, then sprinted, then walked and sprinted because they didn't quite get that sprint burst off 99. But yeah, they're going to be leading this killer on a chase here, heading towards the shack. I'm noticing that there are some gens nearby. This could be something of a 3-gen situation this killer has access to.
Yeah,
oh, and there's that torment.
We see the torment, and we do see the 1-for-1 trade here from the Dwight, potentially a deliverance, I'd imagine. Do you want to note there, we did see a little bit of a snapshot read. That there, friends, is a Rancor.
And this here is definitely decisive.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, a very early decisive to get rid of, too.
Very true. And surprisingly not trying to... I would have honestly, just for, you know, for my YouTube compilation, just laid down the torment.
Hello?
Oh, no! Hello, Kate. Somebody didn't call out that the executioner had left them, I think.
Yeah,
I would have totally dropped my knife and just try to slap the Bill through the window. Just for the compilation shot, because you know that would be a great YouTube short, just saying.
I would tend to agree. With that being said, though, we do see the Dwight getting sent to the cage. Executioner sniffing out a little bit of a deliverance, I think. And we do find the Claudette here as well. Do you want to mention, we did see a Deadlock earlier, so survivors are keenly aware of both Rancor, Corrupt Intervention, and Deadlock. Fourth perk yet to be seen.
Indeed, and yeah, I would imagine at this point the Bill would, not quite able to get that mind game to get the hit, but they will. All survivors are tormented, so anybody that uncages the Dwight here is gonna get their torment removed. And oh, that was a very sneaky vault. I might get. Was that a quick and quiet, or did we just not get noise notifications sometimes?
I think that was not a quick and quiet. We heard the vault itself, just did not get a noise notification. Could just be a spectator bug, as there are plenty of those to be had.
That is fair, and this Claudette is doing the work on this loop. Dwight possibly going to second stage here in the cage. Yeah. They get saved right at the moment. That is so perfectly timed, and they finished the second gen. Survivor's doing a really good job. Despite this execution having a ton of pressure, they are keeping tit for tat.
Yeah, really, really great job by all involved. However, Dwight back in chase, still injured. Unless there's a body block coming in, I think that Dwight will be going down, and sure enough, Bill, mind you, is nearby, but does not appear to be a flashlight save or a body block incoming.
Indeed, this will be second hook for the Dwight. Yeah, unfortunately, getting caught right up on that hill. I imagine you're right. That might have denied a potential deliverance.
No, he did die. So I could have sworn. I could have sworn I saw the score event say entity summoned, and sure enough, that is the case.
Yeah, I saw the name flash as well. I was like, wait, did they save him in time or not? And yeah, it was that hook bug where it doesn't show. But yeah, they actually did go to second stage. That is. Never mind. Yeah, I thought survivors timed it perfectly, and unfortunately, they did not. They were a split second late, and that might just cost them the game here.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely backbreaking for these survivors, as that is now 3 survivors left at 2 gens completed, and so they are going to need to complete these gens ASAP. We do hear some gens over here pretty well progressed, however, so these survivors definitely not slouching.
Yeah, I'm really wondering if the Executioner realized, oh, yeah, another gen being done. However, this is a really nasty 3-gen for Father Campbell's.
Yeah, definitely don't see 3 gens like this spawn all too often, so Executioner definitely should be keeping by Shaq if at all possible, though they seem confident in their abilities as they will be going over to the Carnival for a quick chase.
Indeed, and what I was saying earlier was I'm wondering if the Executioner paid enough attention to notice that the Dwight had progressed to second stage, and that is why they wanted to commit and find that Dwight really fast, because they realized it was a potentially easy survivor to get out of the game. Oh, good.
Yeah, it is possible. I mean, they see the score notification, so if they did see the entity summoned, which I did too, and I was like, huh, I definitely saw that happen, but then they unhooked, like, at the same time a gen popped off. There's a lot going on, and so it looks like, unfortunately, they just caught it at the exact time the entity summoned, and he was like, well, does it an unhook? Was it not? We'll give them the extra hook stage.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we're talking, like, probably a second at most difference. That felt like it was a split second chance, so.
Correct, and I want to be clear. Really tight. Want to be clear for the viewers. The quote-unquote hook bug is not a bug that pushes them to another hook stage. It is a visual bug not showing that they progressed the hook stage, because during an unhook, survivors can technically still progress to a second stage if they get unhooked at, like, the 60th second.
Right, like, I think specifically the one that comes to mind is when a survivor deliverances at the wrong moment, and it technically, the timer puts them over, but at the tick they actually did it at, they did get the deliverance off. But really good shot there. Survivor's making a bit of a comeback here. It's actually going to possibly come down to a very close game.
Yeah, we do want to keep in mind there is Rancor in play, so the Bill going to have to play very carefully here, as when they complete this last generator, he is actually no, he is not fresh. He's been hooked once already.
He's been hooked, yep, at the DS.
And so that will be 2 hook stages that they might end up giving if they are not careful.
Very good point. Yeah, and that makes more sense why they didn't tunnel the Bill after the DS happens, because that is your Rancor target. It's not going to change anymore unless there is a for the people. And yeah, just trying to get this Kate out of the play. Yeah, I think if you kill the Kate right here, as long as you can secure one other stage, I think you've got the win condition effectively, right? Because it was a 8-stage 2K previously.
Yeah, I do believe that there will be the case, and we do see the last gen popping off. However, with that pickup, they do not actually know where the Bill is here off the Rancor. However, 3 stacks of No Way Out, 48 seconds. And that there is going to be a little bit of time here in the end game where they find the bill.
Oh no, they found the bill. Yeah, this bill needs to run for their life because I think they are the win condition hook stages.
Yeah, this is actually huge. Bill will end up going down here, not going for the window. Here comes the Mori for the Executioner. And we don't actually see like the actual Executioner Mori very often, let alone a Mori in comp in general. So that there will be 2 additional points in favor of the Executioner as we do see the unhook on the Kate. This might just be enough, especially if they get the Claudette, who is absolutely fresh here.
True. Well, the thing is now is that I think, unless I am wrong about the scoring system, Claudette is fresh. This is the exact same win condition last time. If both survivors escape, it is a tie set, and tie set means the first set winner wins, right?
That would be correct.
So this is already, like, AoC already won this.
Yeah, basically, I think you are actually on point. Let me just double check the scorecard to double check, and yeah, that looks to be the case. Actually, it was 14-16 in Atmosfer's favor, so it's a 1-point difference. As Academy of Chronicles right now has 17 points. Now,
Really?
Atmosfer would get 4 additional points. Academy Chronicles might take this no matter what.
Oh, yeah. They do the hatch play. Survivor did get out, but I think despite that, I think that was enough hook stages with that 2K. Yeah, I think they're gonna take it.
Yep. Yeah. Sure enough, a 1-point difference there at the end, determining it all. 30-31 in Academy of Chronicles' favor, and Academy of Chronicles will take this match in round 4 of Group B.
Oof. I'm actually, so what is it, a 7-stage 2K? I'm trying to figure out what was the...
So last match, it was a 1K, and
it was
then,
a 1K.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Actually, hold on one second.
I thought it was an H-stage 2K with one...
Hold on one second.
I think this is a tie set. I think this is a
you're
tie
right,
set.
because I am noticing here a lack of a escape point.
Yeah.
And so that actually will change. I'm seeing the admins and mods fight in the Excel file right now, and that 1 point. Let's take a look and see how that changes things.
Head producer turns head judge.
So hold on.
Oh man.
For some reason.
Yeah,
though,
I mean to be fair though, even if this is a tie set, AoC took the first set. If this set's a tie, AoC still takes the match, right? Because it's 1-101. It's not 1-1-1.
Yes, that would be correct. And at the end of the day, I will note that Academy Chronicles was the team surviving anyways, where there was that change anyway, so they would actually get 1 more point. So it'd actually be a 2-point difference in favor of Academy of Chronicles. Didn't really matter in the long run, though, having to double check the scoring I was like, wait 1 second. What's missing here? I'm looking at like, oh, there's not a check mark there.
I'm so good at this.
No, that was a good call. That was a good call on your part. That was a good call.
Oh, man. But regardless, really close set, too. That was really on the wire. Yeah, first set was a bit of a runaway for AoC, but this one was definitely a lot closer.
Yeah, very,
really
very close, to say the least, down to the absolute wire. But with that being said, that there will be the end of matches tonight. We do not have a 4 p.m. CST. How do we get here? Unfortunately, taken a forfeit this week. So we are going to be back next Saturday, Rue, with Group A. And I imagine it is going to be one hell of a fun time. And
Group A has been brutal for me. I've been used to doing Group B, and Group A is like slapping me in the face. I'm not used to it. It's a new rule set. Everything's different. Season 5 is crazy, y'all. And we're halfway through it. We're halfway through Season 5.
It's hard to believe, but with that being said, guys, we are going to end the stream there. Thank you all for joining us today. We will be back next week, bright and early at 12 p.m. CST. For all of you EU folks, set your alarm clocks that much earlier, as I know you guys just went through daylight savings. But,
wait, don't we also have daylight savings next week?
I think we do. Do we? Is it next week?
I think we do, yeah. I think it's next week for us, too. So everybody reset your timer. Be ready.
Indeed.
Time change is coming.
But with that being said, Rue, where can we find you next time you go live as the #1 Trickster main?
I'm going live tonight at 8 o'clock CST. There we go. I know my schedule, and yeah, I'm just gonna be doing trick shots. I'm getting my 3rd trick shot compilation ready for YouTube, and it's gonna be a spicy one. It's gonna be a good old time. But yeah, I'm just gonna be doing trick shots at LITTLERUGAARD or whatever the mod posts in chat, because mods are great. Love the mods. Thank you for making today run smooth, mods. Love your face.
Yeah, no, they are always here to support, and it looks like, in fact, they did 2K. I'm still watching the refs argue in the Excel. So they did 2K. It did end up in a draw, 31-31. However, since Academy of Chronicles did win set 1, they do take the match. So nope, I wanted to make sure I validated Rue here. It'll make up for me having him muted in the first trial.
It's so good. This is what I'm here for. But regardless, that was fun. And Giltspire, are you the educational Dead by Daylight killer?
I am indeed, and we'll be going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. CST. We'll be playing a whole lot of killers. Make sure you stop by, say hi. Feel free to pick my killer so you can learn some tips and tricks on them from both a pubs and competitive point of view. Otherwise, we'll also be live for the PTB on Tuesday, playing killer all day long.
Yeah. I forget that it's Tuesday. Man, this DLC snuck up on us. I guess the Wesker DLC has just been such a blast.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. But with that being said, guys, before we go too far down a rabbit hole, we will catch you next time.
Stay tuned, folks.
Bye-bye.